Just on my way home, I thought I'd stop right here in the driveway at Mohawk and finish up my video for the night. I wanted to recap everybody. Obviously, I was up this morning with Amy at 4:30 in the morning from Ohio. We got a 6 o'clock flight that went to somehow Washington and then back to Ontario. It was a good day, though. We got a lot done at the airport and got to relax for a minute. Got back here at 1:10, almost 2 o'clock, and almost 3 by the time we got to Guelph. Ollie had baseball at 6. Picked him up from school. Amy went to baseball with him, and I took the other two, Adeline and Ava, over after we watched his baseball game. That was fun. First game of the year, so I believe they won. I had to leave with 1 inning left to go warm up, stay close, but I believe they won. I hope they won. So let's start again from the start. Woke up this morning, got back here. Now, before all this happened, obviously we all got a treat. We got to watch the horses qualify this morning. Patrick de Piranha A, looks like he's back to himself somewhat. Hard to tell off a mile and 55 in the mud, 27-3, but he certainly didn't have any heart issues. They said he was fine after. The vet checked him. Everything was perfect after. So he's going to head out to Mark Beckwith in Saratoga to race at Saratoga and in Plainridge. I think that'll be a great fit for him for the summer. Tioga Sunshine qualified. Now, Tioga Sunshine was sold after the qualifier. We qualified her, and I had a talk with Mario about her. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's simple. She's an overnight filly. She's going to be a decent prospect filly again, maybe find her way to the grassroots. But I don't think she's going to be a super effective horse for the stable in Ontario. So moved her on, where, as I said, this time of year, again, we went through this a little bit in the fall, a little bit throughout the winter. But now, again, as we start to see the horses get ready and the landscape starts to unfold in front of us, and we get a good look at what's going, not on just in our stable, but in Ontario, it becomes relevant, and it becomes important for us to make decisions as we go along. Tioga Sunshine, we have 5 horses in the sale. We sold Confederate Cruiser last week, trying to upgrade too and get some nicer horses. Tried to buy one last week, kind of a nice trotter. Tried to buy one again today, didn't get him. But who knows? We got our eye on a number of horses that are coming up also. So those 2 horses qualified well. Stonebridge Symbol will join Patrick de Piranha at Saratoga Raceway. Will be their base of operations, as it is for Mark Beckwith. He'll race. Mark and Melissa will race Stonebridge Symbol and Patrick de Piranha in Saratoga and Plainridge. Be a good fit for both those horses, I believe. So we got to the races. Ollie's game's over, or it was just ending. I get to the races. Obviously, we had LD's Patrick to race. Didn't know how he'd do. The same thing. Is he tired? Is he not tired? I don't know. His blood work, I told you guys, wasn't perfect last week. We worked on a number of things with him. Got him shod. He actually, I get to the track, so he wears a bar shoe behind. And where they weld the piece for the bar, broke. Now, he's just got a normal shoe on. 1 foot normal shoe, other foot bar shoe. There's nothing you can do. There's nobody here with welding equipment, even at Mohawk. And we went down and looked. There was a shoe that looked like it might fit him, but it might have been a hair small. And quite frankly, did I want to take a shoe off of his foot and re-nail another one back on? I just said, you know what, Cindy, just leave him be. Just leave the horse be. He'll be fine. I didn't know how he'd be. I warmed up, stay close. He warmed up okay, but, you guys know. A number of things went into tonight. I'll jump ahead just for a second, because I want to end the video with what went on with Patrick. Stay close. Had missed 2.5, 3 weeks. We raced him. He broke equipment in that race. Didn't even finish the race. So he didn't even really have a true mile other than some training miles in him maybe once over the last month. That played a role. Plus, you remember last week I told you when he broke the hobbles, he hit himself on his left front foot, cut his foot, and bruised his heel. He was sore after the race. It was a bruise. He'd get over it. And he wasn't really, I wouldn't say he was sore tonight, but if you watch the last quarter, he didn't look like he was super comfortable. He's not a very pretty horse to watch anyway, but even for him, I don't think he was super comfortable tonight. So as I said to somebody, I wanted to make a shoeing change, but not because I think we can improve the way he travels, but I want to improve his comfort. I just didn't feel he was super comfortable. I moved him over at the head of lane. He could have trotted 27 and a piece 28 to be close and look like he belonged in there, and instead he just kind of hung out. So we'll try and put some comfort into those front feet for next week, get him in a class similar to this. I think he can do in. But as I said, I think overall, looking at the situation, everything, all things considered, he's a 54 on a good night, 55 to 56 trotter right now. Trotted 56 in a bit tonight. He'd been off the better part of a month. Wasn't really coming in super sharp, and had a cut on his left front foot. So I can make a lot of excuses for him. I think the obvious answer, you guys saw it, I saw it, he just wasn't good tonight. He wasn't good. Did I take him back and he didn't like being raced from behind? I can give you a lot of bullshit excuses that may or may not be accurate. At the end of the day, the reality of the situation was he was a little flat tonight. So we got to start into him now. Let's bring him back next week and see how he behaves next week. Let's leave that. So LD's Patrick obviously was razor sharp. You could see something happened at the head of the lane. First off, I'll tell you how focused this horse was. When we got this horse, brake. James said, he'd make breaks in anywhere on the track. If you run up on people, he'd make a break. Well, I ran over top of Bob McClure almost in the last turn. You guys could see him put a step in. Any horse that didn't want to race, more than enough excuse just to bail, make a break, and everybody can say, look, Anthony run over Bob the idiot and he made a break, right? The horse put a step in, but he wants to win. This horse is competitive now. Put a step in, caught himself, and still wanted out. Now, Sylvain's horse, I'm looking at that lane. I almost want to back out onto Sylvain's back, but good golly, Molly's been so good. And at least Patrick was flat last week. I'm just going to stay the course right here. And as we come to the head of the lane, Home the Tone runs out a step. Now, I kind of crash him a little bit. I don't hit him, but I want to hold that position because it does look, at that point at the head of the lane, it looks like Sylvain and good golly, Miss Molly are going to finish close, right? It's going to be a close affair down the lane. And as I came out, Sylvain obviously was trying to protect position a little bit. LD's Patrick gets on the left line as it is, and my wheel got in behind his wheel. Now, LD's Patrick wants to come forward, and Home the Tone's all done, and good golly, Miss Molly's starting to get away on us. I have to kind of back him out. I don't want to hook his wheel, and it was really tight. I had to move him over a little bit and get clearance. Now, as I got a clear road, I can see that the mare on the front's done. She don't want any more, right? And LD's Patrick is loaded. I start letting him trot forward. I go to kick the earplugs. They won't come out. I kicked at them 3 times. Couldn't get them out. Now, this has happened a couple of times before, and it's happened to me plenty of times in my driving career, and it's happened to me as a trainer, and I'm sure it has a caretaker. I knew exactly what had happened when we pulled up. So, this is very important. You put the head halter on the horse. You put the bridle on the horse. Now the earplugs go in the horse's ears. Then there's a cord that attaches to the side of the bridle. And then that cord all culminates in a point of precipice. And the cord, the string that you see go back to the driver, is attached to it. So that when you pull them, they pop out simultaneously. But LD's Patrick's a bit of a goof sometimes in the paddock. Throws his head and spins his head around, and his head check can flop around a little bit. What had happened was, I'm almost positive, I know it was, he flung the head check around a little bit and got it kind of wrapped in the cord. I didn't notice it. And it was at the top, right at the top. So it was really hard to see, right? The string sometimes will be down a little bit, but sometimes it's up near the crown of the bridle. I didn't see it. Cindy didn't see it. I knew the second time I yanked at them. I said, oh. It happened to me in a gold final with Globetrotting in Scioto one night. She still won the race, but I couldn't get the earplugs out. And it is a big deal. You saw how he sprinted. You saw him sprint tonight. I guarantee you he wins by half a length if I get those earplugs out. Anyway, it's nobody's fault. It happens. It's my fault. I'm the driver. I'm supposed to check and make sure everything's all right. Cindy's trying to make sure the hobbles are good, the gating pole's good, the bike's okay, there's sufficient air in the tires, everything's set proper. Neither of us thought that there was anything, because it's very rare that would happen. It's just one of those things. Now, I guarantee you that's what happened, but again, you never think of that. Horses throw their head all around. You never think that the earplug string gets wrapped up in the overcheck. It's just one of those things. I certainly was in no position to be upset because, one, it was my fault, and two, Cindy, many of you don't know this because I didn't really report it the other day. It happened in between after I made my videos, and it was really to do with one horse, so it really wasn't reportable. But Grace was a little colicky on the weekend. The vet came and looked at Grace, and there was some talk. I said, I am taking no chances with this filly. So does she have to go to the university to be observed or not? And he said, well, I'd really feel more comfortable if somebody stayed there. Cindy Acton and her husband stayed at the farm the entire night. Now, that's how much our caretakers care about their job. Stayed at the farm the entire night with that filly. The entire night. Checked her, made sure she was okay, made sure she was drinking sufficient amount of water. We had to run some fluids into her, IV fluids, electrolytes, and she was fine. She was fine the next day, but that's a big deal. Goes a long way. That's above and beyond your job. And I obviously paid Cindy for doing it. She was, who knows? If we'd have just went home and she never noticed that Grace was acting colicky and we just, they just went home Sunday, there's a very good chance I could have got a call Sunday afternoon saying Grace is colicking and needs to go to the university. Worst case scenario, she has to have an operation. And we all know what worst case scenario is. So little things like that go a long way. Eldest Patrick beat a nose tonight, raced fantastic, sprinting on the end of the mile. If I don't hook a wheel, and I didn't hook the wheel, but I would have. If I don't get in that spot, trying to force feed room to Sylvain, if I don't do that, I win. All I do, it's pretty obvious. Hindsight's 20/20, but all I do is follow Bobby down the stretch for another 3 pylons, pop him out, and he wins with the earplugs in. I don't even have to fish for them. Split second. I got my wheel in behind his. I get unhooked. I still had a fail-safe, and I couldn't get the earplugs out. So that's racing. Maybe we luck out, and they let him in there once more. I didn't realize until tonight he doesn't actually fit the class. He has 7 wins. That's an Elmer's a 6 or 80, which they opened up to 85, and he has 83. So I'm confident if I looked at the program, it was him, they let him in. So they definitely wouldn't do it again on a win. Maybe they'll do it on a second if they need a horse and we'll luck out. But I think off that performance, I think it's pretty obvious he's ready to trot about 53 right now. I don't know how he's as fresh as he is. This is twice now I had said to you, and you thought it yourself, everybody thought it themselves, hey, maybe he just needs a rest. Maybe he just needs time off. Maybe you just need some time off. People are stopping now to see if I'm okay. Maybe you just need some time off. And then he comes out with a performance like that. It's pretty clear. I got him beat. But, I was more worried about keeping him trotting and wondering, I wanted to have a definitive answer for myself and for you. Does Eldest Patrick need time off? I don't have to answer that. I'm pretty sure he answered it for us tonight. Somehow, some way, he is as sharp as a tack right now, and that was a great performance. What I love about this horse is that he is learning too, right? Go back and look at, I said this to you in Miami Valley, how polite he was in the mile. Tonight he was a little aggressive and wanted to get at him in the last turn and could have made a break. I put him in a position to make a break in the last turn, but he didn't. Caught himself, come right up trotting because he wants to win races now. So it's nice to drive horses like that. Here's one horse that is most definitely sitting on a victory, and another horse that participated today. No, I forgot. In the middle of all this going on, I forgot about Kings County. 9-hole on a 5/8 mile track. Now, that class, every time I've seen that class, now I can't say every time because I haven't seen it every time, but every time I've seen that class, it's been a handicap. Kings County was one of the longer shots last week. Ended up, raced his guts out, came first over and was third in 53. And they get in a 9-hole? Obviously, it wasn't a handicap this week, but a little frustrating. I'd hope he wouldn't draw the 9-hole next week. He finished 6th or 7th, but was trotting hard on the end of it. Brett took care of him, raced him how he had to race him from the 9-hole, much like I had to stay close from the 9-hole. But that's racing. We had a real tough draw all weekend, a lot of outside posts, a lot of tricky spots to be in, but our horses raced very well again. Eldest Patrick was clearly a winner tonight, had I just missed a wheel. And I didn't even need to get the earplugs out. Didn't matter. Wouldn't even have been a discussion piece had I just not got myself up in behind Sylvain's wheel. But Eldest Patrick raced great. Fantastic mile tonight. Big kick on the end of it. Stay close was adequate. Tough to say from the 9-hole off a long time. Kings County, 9-hole. Not much he can do with that. Brett had to play the hand he was dealt, and he did. And then obviously the 2 qualifiers today, Patrick the Piranha A and Tioga Sunshine. We said goodbye today to Tioga Sunshine, so good luck to Lindsay Kerr, who bought Tioga Sunshine. Good luck to her good luck with her. And Patrick the Piranha is off tomorrow to Mark Beckwith and Melissa Beckwith's barn. So with that, a little bit long-winded, but I thought it was worth explaining what took place on the track tonight. Nevertheless, looking at the chart lines, an okay mile from the outside from Stay Close and a tremendous mile from LD's Patrick. I love this horse, man. He is growing on me. It's hard not to love this guy. He raced fantastic tonight. Take care.